What's up, Soul Family? I have a treat for you today. So Rebecca Campbell, one of my favorites over here, she has come out with a new deck. So I'm going to show it to you. Guess what? It's the Rose Oracle. Okay, if you're not impressed by the box already, then you're not going to be impressed by the deck. I mean, we've got gold foiling on the box, and it's a rose. It's beautiful. It's her soft tones. This is totally Rebecca. Now, she did use a new artist, but this artist totally brought Rebecca to the deck, right? So Rebecca's an amazing spiritual worker, light worker, whatever you want to call her. She is beautiful, and the work she puts out into this world is beautiful, and it just brings light to everybody who uses it. The artist for this deck is Ms. Katie-Louise. So this is a 44 card deck with guidebook. And the guidebook in this one, well, we'll get to that. So right off the bat, you notice the difference between a lot of other decks, right? You got attention to detail with the gold foiling, but you see where the deck separates, right? It's not your typical, magnetic closure deck or your, pull it apart style deck like this. These ones are. This one is the same style as the Starseed Oracle that she did a few years ago. So it turns itself into an altar piece. So you can actually use this on your altar or your sacred space, wherever you're using it, to display your cards. I'll show you really quick. So whatever cards you happen to draw, right? You put them on there, and then they can just sit on your altar so that you can see them and reflect on them during the day. Now, let's get into this deck. You just watched me pull two cards out, right? It comes with a total attention to detail. The slide is not just a piece of paper around the cards holding them together. Unlock the sacred mysteries of the rose. So that all by itself is beautiful. It's printed on rose paper. And then it comes with the Rose Oracle Attunement, front and back. It has a ritual on here to attune your deck and yourself to the essence of the rose, if you will, to Mother Rose herself, which is an extension of Gaia because they're all one, right? So that is amazing right there. I've never had another deck come with an attunement card. Now, you still want to cleanse your decks, right? Get some selenite, get some, salts. However you cleanse your decks, make sure you cleanse the deck because they have been handled by, the shippers and the people that are packing the boxes. So you don't know what they're carrying themselves. And we just want to clear that off the deck. Now, let's get to the back of the deck. Gorgeous, isn't it? So you can see it can be reversed. It is two-sided here. But very soft, muted colors, pastels, very much like her Work Your Light deck. Where is it? Okay, so here's her Starseed Oracle. Very, very similar. Apparently I don't have the Work Your Light deck over here. But you guys have seen it. I will put a link to Rebecca's other decks that I've done reviews on in the comments so that you guys can look at those too if you've never seen Rebecca before, if this is something you're brand new to. But then the cards, the front of the cards are still those gorgeous pastels. These ones are more jewel-toned pastels, if that makes sense. They're not like, so these ones here are brighter pastels, right? These ones are more jeweled, I would call that. Like a dusty rose or like a dark, dusty teal kind of color or sage. So a little bit different tone, but it very much brings in the essence of what she's creating in this deck. So now let's get to the cards and you can see them. let's get into the guidebook. So the guidebook, it's good and thick. Look at that. Beautiful. You've got the table of contents, of course, because you want to know where you're going, right? But it's got the ancient mysteries of the rose, the call of the rose. So there's a little bit more than just what the cards mean in this guidebook. So a little bit about the mysteries of the rose. So you can learn about the rose and her calling before you actually get into the cards themselves. But once you get into the cards, it also has spreads in here using the box top. Once you get into the cards, they are partially colored. And it looks like most of them are 2 pages. So you get the meaning of the card, right? You get the card name, Sacred Masculine. So this is Brothers of the Rose. Sacred Masculine, honor, protection, support. That will be on the card itself, right at the bottom under the name of the card. And then you have the full description like any other oracle, right? And then the special part of this is the soul inquiry. How are you being called to work with the sacred masculine? So for this particular card, the Brothers of the Rose, it gives you something, maybe a journal prompt or something to meditate on how you're being called to that. So just depending on how you want to use this guidebook, there's so many different things that you can delve into with this deck. It's more than just a, pull a card type deck. You can really get into it and make it part of your self-care, your spiritual practice. So really fast, let's draw a card, right? You guys know I can't do a review without giving you a reading first. All right, we have the Rose Thread, Inner Call, Soul Led, the Mystic, Living Courageously. Now, let's go to our guidebook and see what this message means for us. Look at this. Isn't it gorgeous? I love the water. It's very emotional. I can feel the soul-led part of this. This is the card of the mystic, the one who's in touch with the depths of the inner world and the inner weaving of the world and beyond, way beyond. They're dedicated to listen to the mysterious voice whispering within, to follow their intuition and living in accordance with that, to living by being guided by the rose thread. Following the rose thread means being dedicated to walk the way of the rose, to being a service to humanity and dedicated to writing a new story. It requires courage and faith and willingness to pave a new path. The rose has been a symbol of the mysteries for thousands of years. The rose thread is the invisible path that the mystic follows. It takes courage to trust it, for the path is different for every single person. This is why it requires courage to trust the inner call, and those who do so find great reward. This card is a sign that you're being called to follow this initiatory path, led by the thread deep within. You may find that you're in a place of great change and are being called to have faith and gather up the courage to take the next step. This card is a sign of encouragement to keep taking the next step. It's acknowledging the courage it takes to live a soul-led life and honoring you for always taking the leap. Rose transmission. Even when things feel unclear, especially when they do, I trust that I am always led from within. So this is a spectacular affirmation that you can use. Let me repeat that. Even when things feel unclear, especially when they do, I trust that I am always led from within. Isn't that beautiful? What a beautiful message to go forth with this week. No matter when you are seeing this video, this message is meant for you. You are the mystic. You are the one being led on this new path. Now, you can purchase this deck on Amazon or wherever you purchase your tarot and oracle cards. I paid about $25 roughly for it. I got it on pre-order. It's no longer on pre-order, so you can purchase it at any time. This deck, I'm so excited to have this as part of my collection. And if you guys get it, let me know. Let me know how you work with it. Is it just for you? Are you doing readings with it? How are you going to use the Rose Oracle? Blessings, soul family. I love you guys, and we'll see you in the next one. What's up? That's retarded. What's up, soul family? I am out of practice. All right, so now that you guys have seen the cards, what do you think? Do you have a favorite yet? Do you want to get this deck for yourself just to hold it and touch it and see all the different cards? Before we end here, no, we're taking that out.